Hey everybody, welcome back to another LEGO City update. Today we're going to work on improving this area right over here. So after the downtown core, we've got the residential area. And in this space is the Studgate train station. So there's a bunch of train track here that's just sort of sitting on top of base plates. Doesn't look very good at all. So I want to try and improve this area by MILS plating everything in here. Also, we're going to have to make some adjustments to this train station. We're going to have to move it over a little bit just because it's off by about 2 studs. You can see that there's a flex track right there behind those modular buildings. So we're going to be able to remove that, and then behind this platform covering, you'll see another series of flex track right there. So I want to try and align that, and what we're going to do is actually just redo the MILS plate for this here. We're going to convert this from the 48 by 48 plate that it sits on, and we're going to extend it so that it sits on another 1.5 base plates here, allowing us to shift it over 2 studs, just to remove that misalignment, because it really doesn't look that good at all, does it? Nope, not at all. So then we can try to align that and also just blend in all this train track. Probably do more of the dark gray tiles on the train track as well, inset it into the MILS plates, work on some of these corners here so that they look spiffy, like this corner over here, and just work on improving that area, because you come here past the downtown core, you're like, all right, it looks pretty good, and then you're like, yeah, this doesn't look good at all. So let's start with that. Train station was fairly easy to move. Just peeled off that MILS plate, slid it back the 2 studs, changed up the 2x2 bricks so they're 2x3s, changed up these ones here so they're 2x4s and they bridge the base plate. And then I've got 1 16 by 32 base plate there and 1 16 by 16. Now I'm just going to fill that in with green, put the top back on, and it should be good to go. And while I was doing that, Simon was over here busting out the 2x2 brick and also the 4x4 green plate and just starting to fill in these plates. And look at that, I'm even having a nice thick pint of Guinness while I'm working here today. No, I'm just kidding. This is a nice coffee. And what I'm going to do, let's put it in the freezer here. I've got a little spot made for it. And that's going to be a little iced coffee I can drink later on. It's going to be delicious. So I finished converting this, then I was like, wait a minute, there's something that really bothers me about this train station, and that is the gap between the tracks. It's 4 studs. So the gap between the 2 tracks is only 4 studs. Whereas when you use a switch track, the gap becomes 8 studs, not 4. So when you use a standard LEGO switch track, it doesn't match up with this, and then you've got to do some weird stuff with Flexi track. So we're working on filling this in, and this was set up so that the curve is going to be 8 studs apart. So what we're going to do is modify this very easily. We're just going to peel this piece off, this like half, this section here, and bring it over 4 studs. That's why I removed these green plates. So bring that over, and then extend this out 4 studs, very easily do that as well. Just add some more tiles, add some more brick in there, and then extend this out same way, add some more plate in there, just change up the plates, add some more fence, deal with that. Then the tricky part is going to be the roof, because the roof sits on these modified 1x1s here, and it's the same width as the current train station, right? So this also has to be extended out. So what I'm going to do is just take these panels off, find the 2 stud long Technic bits that will connect to this part and also the roof of the train station. I've got more of these in my inventory, also more of the modified 1x2 black plates there that can hold those in place. So then we'll just add a little extender there, 2 studs on this side, 2 studs on that side, and then we should be able to make this train station wider so that it accommodates a regular LEGO switch track. Well, there we go, the adjustments have been made. So yeah, I expanded this out, 2 studs on either side, so it's a little bit more of a flat roof now. And then all I had to do was shift this over and then expand this out. And I made up the difference for the fences with the telescopes, so that worked out. And I didn't have enough of the like axle pin pieces, so I ended up using some of the regular pin pieces, like the circular ones, but you can barely tell. So that really works out. It is like a little bit, oh, this fell in, but it is a little bit like top heavy. You can see it bowing a little bit just because we increased the span by 4 studs, but it should be fine. It's gonna look way better in the city and just make more sense with the track. This is definitely a pretty big unit now. Thank goodness for MILS, because you just pick it up and away we go. Let's go place it in the city. There we go, that looks good. MILS plated all around as well. This train track has been embedded. Thank you so much, Simon, for taking care of that. That is awesome. So the track is actually embedded right into the MILS plate, and it actually drops down a plate, so it's like flush. Now the MILS plate over here is at your standard MILS plate height. So the track inside the station isn't gonna be like that. The track is gonna come up one plate, just so the train, when it pulls up, is at the same height as the platform. If you were to rip out all this and embed it down, well, then it'd be a little bit too low. These are the two options. We could rip it apart and embed it down so it matches this, or we could have it go up. I think having it go up isn't the end of the world, and I think it actually makes more sense. But yeah, look at all this MILS work here. That looks great. It's continuing along here as well. So we've got all these tracks, and these tracks are going to be side by side. They're currently on 16 by 32s, but we can increase the size of these to 32 by 32. So both tracks will sit side by side. And then that's going to free up all these half base plates, which we need for other things in the city, such as right here. And that's going to be really good. So now what I'm working on is that over there. And that's the road crossing, because these tracks are only 4 studs apart. So I need to increase it to 8. So I've got to rip apart this custom road, rebuild it, and then also build a 32 by 32 plate with the embedded train tracks right there. And then continue to build all these MILS plates as well with the train track embedded into the green plate and have them 8 studs apart. It's just going to make more sense. And because we moved this over, or the train station over 2 studs, once again, it's going to straighten out that flexi track there, which is perfect. And it's also going to remove the need for some of the flexi track over there. But realistically, like the train track here and here doesn't really matter, because this is going to be underneath a massive mountain, so you're not really going to see flexi track or unbalanced track under here, because eventually this is going to be one massive mountain. Just imagine that. This is just a huge mountain right here. It's going to be so cool, just a big mountain with like peaks. Yeah, it's going to be so neat. I mean, we started it, but we've got a lot more mountain plates to build. It's just insane. So we keep running out of green plate, and I'm actually searching Bricklink right now to order a bunch of 4x4 green plate. I would order 16 by 16s to cover more ground quicker, but when you start, putting up a pond here, or putting a mound here, or you, make specialized ones for train track and stuff, 4x4 just works better than 16 by 16, because you literally can't do that with 16 by 16. So yeah, I'm looking to order a bunch of those just so we can continue building here in the city. There's the new and improved train track crossing right there, just lacking a few tiles. Now we need to create those double straight plates right there, and also a bunch more double straights over here as well. And because there's so many base plates to create, we decided to move the production upstairs here, where we can bang it out in an assembly line style. So we've got our 12 base plates ready to go, and all the necessary parts. 5 hours later, just working with the fan blasting on me, and the iced coffee is ready. Looks delicious. And so far, we've got 6 double track plates done. With all that train track upgraded and installed, it looks perfect here. I like this crossing. It just needs the actual things. I forget what they're called, but it needs those. And then we've got the sidewalk, which is actually raised up a little bit as well. If you're driving a car, you got to go over the bumpy train track, which is the way of the road there. And then we've got some nice train track back here. Oh my gosh, it just looks so much better when it's MILS plated and fully tiled off. And now 2 trains can very easily pass through this train station. However, I still have to modify that staircase yet again, probably just alter the arches, because those arches in the staircase, they actually hit the Disney train, because the Disney train is too tall. But that'll be a very easy modification. I just don't have the Disney train operational right now, and I just didn't feel like doing that, so I'll do it another day. But this is all nicely tiled off in here as well. You can see there's 8 studs between each track in there, which of course matches the 8 studs that we have here, which matches the switch. So that's awesome. And the gradient here, not too bad at all. I could probably just throw a couple tiles under here to further support that. And once I get around to actually tiling off all of the track in this area, I'll probably do that. I didn't fully tile it off yet just because I don't have all the parts to the corners, and that's like the primary concern in this area. So I need a bunch of like dark bluish gray wedge plates and then all of the appropriate tile as well. And then I'll be able to do this corner, this switch track here, and also this little bit of flex there. Yeah, for some reason it wasn't lining up perfectly, so rather than using a straight there, I had to use some flex. That's not too bad though, I'm okay with that. You'll notice that there is some base plate under there that is exposed. I'm not going to tile off underneath the curve like I did with the other curve over there until I get the parts to actually tile off the train track itself. I just don't see why I would waste all the tile and time to do that now, because once I actually make these tiled off, there might be a few things that have to be altered, like a slope might have to move or something like that. So I may as well wait for that time. But then the tiled off track goes all the way over here. I would continue, but I'm out of green plate. So I did place an order, and I hope that order arrives quickly. In that order is 6,000 4x4 green plates. So we'll have enough to do a lot of plates. It's 8 times 8. That's how many green plates is in each MILS plate. So 64 green plates per MILS plate, and I ordered 6,000. So just under 100 plates I'll be able to MILS plate with all of that plate. And then I'll run out of 2x2 bricks, and I'll have to order that too. But I did mention in a previous video, I want to try and experiment with some height elevation throughout the entire city. We've got a lot of green space here, and I would like to sometimes go into the MILS, whether it be like a nice pond here or something, or come up off the MILS plates with some hills. This is just a rough draft, but I threw down a bunch of brick and created a hill here, and then I textured it with some slopes, and I need to go through and add, vegetation and little brown spots and rocks and all the detail. This is for sure not done, so please don't judge my work yet. But yeah, once I decorate that, it should look pretty cool. And something that the Lego City is lacking in general is vegetation. There's no trees, there's no bushes, there's nothing. There's also no minifigures, there's no stories, there's no ponds, there's none of the detail there, because I always do the detail last. Getting the rough draft of everything first is more important, right? Because how am I supposed to start detailing when none of this stuff was done? This is definitely what comes first. I mean, I could go through and start placing vehicles, but once again, I just think that stuff all happens in different phases of production. But I'm really happy with this. Like, the before and after must be really cool. I didn't take any before photos, but let's try and find a still and place it in this video. So here it is after, and let's check it out before. Yeah, so pretty plain Jane. Nothing was really MILS plated. The train track didn't look very good at all. And here it is after. Much, much, much better. And it doesn't seem like we actually accomplished much today, but let me tell you, I think we did, because modifying the train station, that was very important. It looks way better in my opinion, and now it actually accommodates your standard Lego RC track, so I'm really happy with that. And then just MILS plating all this stuff and embedding that train track, it just takes a lot of time and a lot of parts, and it significantly improves the look. But where do we go from here? I'm thinking I want to take on one of 4 projects in my next Lego City update, and one of those projects might be the amusement park. I'm gonna go buy like 30 base plates or something crazy like that and start to lay this place out, because I can't really start to work on the amusement park without base plates. I can't start to create the grid. I can't start actually placing the rides and all that without the base plates. And I can't get this train track plated just like we did today without more base plates. So I literally need to go buy like 30 or 40, 50 base plates, whatever it may be, so I could start gridding out this amusement park. That's pretty high on my priority list, because that doesn't look very good right now. Something else that doesn't look very good right now is the countryside and the campground. I need to work on this area. In order to work on this area, I need to tear everything apart and then rebuild it from scratch. So that's pretty high on my priority list just because this area doesn't look very good at all. Nothing really makes sense. It's all sort of just sitting here, and I just need to fix this up. The third thing that I need to work on right away is the raised platform coverings. It is time for those to get upgraded. They just don't make any sense. The tunnels don't line up with the train track. There's some random builds in there. There's tunnels that lead nowhere. Those all need to be modified and fixed up, and I need to build more of them ASAP. I know they're gonna go from the mountain right there below Ninjago pretty much all the way to the amusement park. So I need to build more of those just because that is something that is so important for the structure of the city. And you know, I've been working on finalizing a lot of this train track, and I think those platform coverings tie right into that train track, so they're very important. The fourth and final thing that I want to work on right away is essentially doing the exact same thing that we did today, and that is building more MILS plates and embedding more train track. But I don't have the 4x4 green plate to do that. I specifically want to work on the front, the face of the city right by the zoo here. I need to create all of these MILS plates, and I need to start embedding this train track because believe me, it is driving me nuts. And I also need to connect the road to the countryside. Let me know what you'd like to see in the next LEGO City update in the comment section below. But yeah, there we go, everybody. This area looks a lot better than it did at the start of this day. I can't wait to continue. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff coming out in the near future. Farewell.